Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where we break down all the goals scored in the Premier League. And today we're doing Manchester United against Nottingham Forest, and the Forest batter United with a storm of goals at Old Trafford. United are going to struggle for quite a while. Their players don't suit the playing system that as Amorim are bringing in. They really are going to struggle. And I'm going to point a couple of those things out as we move forward as well. But also, you can see Forest here have got a pretty interesting sort of corner routine. You can see it straight away with two players moving and everyone attacking this zone here where the ball is going to be delivered, right? That's the zone we're looking for. But also, we're looking for the strength of defenders, because when I show you this and I show you the shocking sort of strength from some of these United defenders, it's just not good enough. You can't play like this and expect not to concede goals galore, and they do that as well with a couple of help, from their goalkeeper, he's terrible at the football. But on this delivery, we're looking, can you block the runs? Are you tracking players? And they are. United, they've got some, everyone's bodied up here, which you're absolutely fine with. And I think this is Delit here. Not sure what he's doing quite well. He's reading the point of where the ball's going to go, so he's trying to make his way to that point of contact there. You can see that as he's going. You can see that he's trying to jump up and actually attack the point of contact of the ball. But I'm going to show you from the reverse angle so you can get a better look at how bad this actually is. Okay, so here's the lack of organisation here between these players. These two. They're marking these two players here. They're not actually marking them. They're stood there and watch. They switch players midway through. This is the guy that's going to come through with this guy, and these two are going to end up fighting over here, right? So this is what happens. Look, clearly, I'm not sure this player here, honestly, he's got his hand on him, so he's basically marking him. I've touched it, so he's mine now. He's touching that player, so he's only marking that player. But as we start to move, look, there he is. You can see him. He's touching it. He's marking him. That's his. He's quite happy with that. As we move this forward, though, he changes and goes to mark this player there. The problem is when he's doing that, because I think this is, I'm not sure who this is here for United. He hasn't gone with that guy or this guy here. So because of the way that they're stood, which is flat, he is able to get a run on him. So now what he has to do is try to body him, and he doesn't body him. He just lets him run. So what do I mean body him? Get your shoulder and put it on his body. You get your body on his body. You don't let him continually to run straight through you like he's doing here. Watch. He starts to run, but what he does, he doesn't body him. He grabs him. He's trying to hold him. Difference, complete difference, because when you're leaning on him, he's got your body weight on him, so it makes it harder for the player to go through. If you're just trying to hold him, you're using the strength of your muscles and not your body weight. He wants to be using his body weight to stop the player, not his arms. There's two reasons. He's going to give away a penalty if he keeps holding him with his arms. With his body, at least he's shoulder to shoulder. He's got his body on him. But for some reason, they don't want to do that. They're trying to push and shove players instead. Here's the player that I told you, I think it's Delit, who actually reads the situation and he's trying to come over and deal with it. As this ball comes in, look at him. He's not even leaning on him. He's almost holding him and pulling him. But the other player from Nottingham Forest is so much bigger and stronger than him. Look. He's not even jumping. He's not even trying to jump for the ball. As the Nottingham Forest player jumps for the ball, gets an easy contact and puts it into the corner of the net box. Now, if the other player is able to run at you, you don't put your body weight on him, and you're really quite a weak little brunt of a person, and you can't hold him down. The only thing you really can do is jump to challenge for the ball, and not one of these things he does. Look, he's holding, like, what is that? That isn't defending. Nothing to do with that is defending at all. On this, the keeper's really in no man's land because, well, it's a point-blank header from the 6-yard box. He's not really going to do anything with it. But at the final point here, you can see all the United players on the 6-yard line. And here's my other point. On their starting positions, no one is sort of coming this way at the ball. Even Delit's call out. It's just a total mess. And it's complete and utter lack of organisation. I used to have a coach, a friend of mine, he's still coaching the Nigerian national under-21s, I think. And when he started coaching back in 2002, 2003, something like that, he only coached two things. He played keep away and he coached corners. Why did he coach corners all day? He said, well, because they're crosses, we can defend these, we can defend balls from outside the box. at some point you have to defend corners, because if you do defend corners really well, you're never worried by them. It's one of the simplest things to organise, the quickest sort of thing to make sure that your team doesn't concede. So it's one of those things that you can spend 2-3 training sessions on, get everybody organised, and then rotate the positions. So what does that mean? Right, this is the front post guy, he does this is the back post guy, he does this, and then everybody knows what the front post guy does, or the back post guy does, or this guy does. Even if it's not your main role, you know what the job is of that person, so you can interchange it very, very easily. This just looks like a mess. But let's get on to the next goal. But in true Cash fashion, we're going to show you it from another angle, because, you know, I don't really look at the highlights properly before I ever start recording. You can see, though, he's just sort of wrestling with him, and he just needs to be better. Look, he's just wrestling with him. Look, he's trying to hold him. He's not leaning on him. There's no body weight on him. You can see that this defender's, he's leaning back this way instead of leaning into the defender, into the striker, to actually make it hard for him to jump. He's just trying to hold on his shirt and pull him down. You can't do that. You're just not going to win the header. Not jumping doesn't really help you. But let's get on to the next goal, hopefully this time. Okay, this is kind of the way Amorim plays. What he really does is, so he have his three at the back, he'll have his little midfielders, and these guys on the outside of the flyers. So they try to create space by trying to run in behind. But what he's a fan of is up, back and through. Simple old philosophy that's been going since the 1970s. You play the ball back, you play the ball up, someone knocks it back, and the reason you knock it back is because it's a trigger. Okay, so you're looking for a trigger play. What is the ball motion to set everybody off on their runs? So as soon as the ball goes back, and by the way, it doesn't mean it goes back into midfield, it can go back in any way. The ball could go up, back over here, and then that's the trigger for people to run. And they'll be in certain zones in certain key areas if he's doing it properly. So as soon as that ball goes back, that's when everyone's looking to get forward. And remember, the key point is, when you've gone up and you've gone back, the guy that's going to play the through pass has to be in space. Otherwise, you don't start making your runs. If he cannot get his head up and pass the ball forward, you don't do that. But remember, the key to what he does is, it's very simple really, is you start in a starting position that is back. Okay, why do you have these starting positions that are a little bit deeper? Because it allows you space to run into. You don't have to create space. It's already there for you. Can you see that? Because you're further back. If you're here, where you really are is in front of the ball, or the person that's going to play it forward. You almost kind of like set your runs back a little bit so you can just run into the space. So when the ball's played there, you can start to see, bump on the transition, everyone's gone, and away we go. Calling for it into the space. Now it's just off to the races. From a Nottingham Forest point of view, it's shocking. 1, 2 defenders running away from the ball completely and utterly. Like, one of you can afford to go to the ball because there's 2 of you there. There is this funny thing in the Premier League where no one actually bothers to try to put pressure on the ball after a certain point. What's the certain point? So the line is broken. As soon as the line is broken and it's in transitional play, they just don't seem to bother because they don't really know what they're doing. What they're trying to do is all drop back in, set up in their little defensive zone again and try to defend from that point. No one is actually smart enough to realise, well, we got 2 of us, one of us can go towards the ball and force this guy to make a pass, and maybe he'll make a bad pass, maybe he'll do something wrong, maybe he'll just give me the ball. You just don't know. We'll just let him have it instead. A really bad thing to do in football, which they're very good at doing in the Premier League, is giving this guy acres and acres of space to run into to pick a pass. Yeah, nothing bad will happen if you let the player with the ball have time on it. I tell him, oh, wait, no, that isn't it. But let's move this forward. As it goes, off we go, and you can see the pockets of space are opening up. But of course, I still want to point out the other guys trying to do their job properly on the outsides as well, part of their system. You can see some of them are trying to play it. It's starting to work for United, but it's just defensively they're rubbish. And when you stand and do nothing and you run back, you get caught in complete no man's land like these 2 guys do here. So little through ball through, quality little run, found him, quality, weight on the ball is absolutely perfect. Now he's just got to finish. Unfortunately though, as he goes through, he's rubbish at the football, and the keeper does come out really well. His touch isn't quite good enough. It's gone away from him. He really is too close to the keeper. But look at the problem. You stop running. You were trying to play offside. I don't know why you were playing offside, because you were running back for the last couple of seconds. So to run back and then try to play offside on the through ball is moronic. But yes, you've defined moron pretty well. This guy, however, he's following in, he's doing the right thing. And the reason I'm calling these 2 out is because of this. When this ball comes in here, now you need to be reacting. Don't worry. He didn't bother. He still stood on the 18-yard line because you still need to track and follow up. And this little Rasmus Højlund, he still stays alert, follows up, and he gets himself a goal. Now, Højlund, I think, has wasted the last God knows how long he's been at United of his career because he doesn't get service. He's not in a situation where he can score goals. And any chance of he had of becoming a great player is really going out the wayside because he's just burning time. And as a footballer, you don't have that much of it. And if you waste a good couple of years not doing anything, he's losing his potential pretty quick. But let's get on to the next goal. So here we go. This is shocking on so many levels. It's unbelievable. So we're going to play the ball up. He's going to play it back. And then we're going to try to play it through into the space, right? That's what we're looking to do because that's what they do. So plays the ball up, starts making his run, okay, into the space perfectly. Off he goes. But this is just poor technique. So if you coach as long as I have, there's one of those things where you've got bad players that do the same thing wrong all the time. And because it's a technical flaw in their game. So when they're in certain situations, they'll keep playing the ball with the outside of the right foot because they don't want to use their left foot. Inside of the left foot is what they need to do. Instead, they play it with the outside of their right foot. And this is one of those scenarios where the player thinks he's better than he is, and he doesn't do just the basics and keep the ball. And because of that, when he does this little flick there, he tries to stop it. This player's gone a little bit too fast. It's not his fault. He's making the run. Your job is to get it to him. His job isn't to adjust his run to your terrible pass. You're playing in the Premier League. You should be able to pick him out on a run straight through. But because you've done this little flick stab pass with the outside of your right foot and got no power in it, because it's a flawed technique, it really is. By the way, it's great inside of their box, but you don't do it in your half of the field to try to exploit somebody on the transition, because if you get it wrong, this happens. Oh, it's gone behind him, because you don't really play that many passes a day flicking it with the outside of your foot. All right. And that's why these little flicks and these little things don't ultimately end up working very well, because they are so prone to error. And it always seems to be the biggest errors come when you do the dumb thing, which you're not used to doing. That's the dumb thing that you're not used to doing. So all of a sudden, the counter-attack ensues. And of course, because he's run forward out of position, he's out of position. So United are in a bad way straight away. They're going to struggle. What's the first thing you want to do? Actually here, you can't really pressure the ball. Why? Because there's players around that you can easily pass to. So as much as I say you want to put pressure on the ball, every single situation in football is different every time. But this time, you can't go near that football. You just kind of want to hope, really. Back up, hope, try to squeeze him, get close to him, hope something happens. To me, this is kind of hilarious. We know he puts his arm up. We know on this channel, in the next 5 seconds, someone's going to score a goal. That's exactly what happens. By the way, this is hilarious. This pass here, he flicks with the outside of his right foot just to take the mick out of, I think it's Bruno Fernandes. He's the one that normally makes the big mistakes at Man United. And everyone thinks he's amazing when he's absolutely terrible. Does this little flick pass to the outside of his foot. Boosh! Does it? Oh, there's something else with that as well. The reason why this works and that one doesn't is because he's stationary and he's trying to flick it and he's got no power, on his foot as he's doing it. So there is a different time when you can do it, when you're actually in motion and you're moving forward and you're not stood still in a stationary position. But now this shot here, you can see, look, he's got acres and acres of space to take a touch. And he's not scoring from here. There's no way he's scoring from here. He's just hitting the ball and going, yeah, I'm just going to have a shot and see what happens. But they didn't realise that they had their under 10 goalkeeper in, and he's rubbish as it. Nana, he is so bad. So here's one of the interesting things with goalkeepers as well. We used to talk about this years ago in our coaching circles. We used to talk about the 80-20 goalkeeper, right? So what we mean by the 80-20 is all the goalkeepers could do the 80%. What we meant by that is shot stopping and all of those things that a goalkeeper can, reaction saves, 1v1s, all those things that a goalkeeper can do. And the 20% is playing the ball out of the back, catching crosses, all the really sort of things that your style of play and building up and being able to play long balls, that's the 20% that you don't really focus on. Nowadays, it's completely shifted. The 20% of shot stopping is what they focus on, and the 80% of passing the ball out of the back and all the long balls and all of that, that's their focus. So I tell you, if someone ever figures out if you can just smash the ball from the 18-yard box at the modern goalkeepers, they'll all start scoring goals because they're not used to it. They're not used to shaving their shots from outside the box anymore. And this is a classic example. This is a bread and butter save. He gets the ball, whap, straight through. Like, it doesn't take a deflection, it doesn't take a nick, he doesn't slip. He's just rubbish. It's just absolutely rubbish. But there we go. Let's get on to the next one. Oh yeah, Anan, do better. I do want to show you from this motion though. Look. Oh look, it's moved ever so slightly. He's gone down way. I don't think he's actually moved ever so slightly. Way too early. It's just terrible. It's awful. It's just awful. So talking about United players not really being strong enough or winning the ball properly, this is another example. And it comes down to a lot of his attitude and mindset that you will not be beat. There's certain players that you've probably played against, like I have over the years, that you just don't want to tackle that guy. He's not great at football, but he puts his whole body behind it. It's going to hurt you. You're going to have to make sure you do it right because it's just... This isn't one of those tackles. This is on your 18-yard box. Look how pathetically weak this is. I don't really want to win the ball. And it's so easy for Nottingham Forest to win this ball back and recycle it. So simple. 1, 2, it's gone. Straight away. No conviction in the tackle, really. Not really trying to win the ball. And I know he's panicking because he's on his 18-yard box and he gives away a penalty. So you give away a penalty. I'd rather you try to play the game properly and you try to win the football and you try to do your best. And if they give you a penalty for it, so what? It's so much like we can deal with that. That's fine. Yeah, you were trying really hard and this time you got caught. Great. But that becomes a habit. Oh, it already is a habit to all of the Man United players. So you've got to break that habit. You've got to be stronger in the tackle, stronger in the headers. Otherwise, it floods through the team and you're just a bunch of weak babies that can't header the ball or tackle properly. And we're about to find that out again. And with the ball played out wide here, right? Don't worry, someone's got their arm up telling somebody what to do, so we know in the next 5 seconds, going to score a goal. Yay. So you should probably be marking the player that you're telling someone to mark. Now, here's another problem as well. Can you see that separation gap there? He can afford to come back and actually get touch tight and body this guy here, and he doesn't. So when this cross comes in, it's almost a free header. So here we are. We've got the cross coming in. It's not close enough to him, and got underneath the flight of the ball. Can you see that? Jump from his run, yeah, because you see that he's not close enough to the player, and if he was, what that means is the player has to push the defender out of the way physically with his shoulder and his body and his weight, and he's not close enough. He's just nowhere near close enough. So when this header comes across, I don't think this Nottingham Forest player's got any intention of trying to go for goal. He's just putting it back in the danger zone because when it's coming, look at his eyesight. He's looking up at the ball, and you know he can see that player there out of peripheral vision. Someday I'll do a breakdown on peripheral vision and actually explain it properly to everybody and tell you why certain players have great field of vision and field of play. And a lot of that comes down to their eyesight. They can look straight forward and still see to their left and their right really, really well. That's perfect for them. A lot of people can't see, and as you move your hands out, you'll see it where your peripheral vision breaks, and then it squeezes down the more you concentrate on playing football or doing the thing, and that's why people get tunnel vision and all that sort of stuff, and it starts to break out further and further the better you are at football. Like some people like Beckham have got fantastic peripheral vision, so even though they're looking at the ball, they can see the guy on the other side over there because they can actually see him, which a lot of people don't really understand. You can do that when you do, if you've ever played with one of those like light testy things, and you've got to stay focused here looking in the middle and see how the lights you can touch out there. You can test for it. It's really good fun. And if you want to learn how to get your peripheral vision better, look forward, get a tennis ball in your hand and try to throw the tennis ball over your head to the other hands and catch it like that, and it'll help you try to learn to catch the tennis ball and keep you focused here, but trying to stretch your peripheral vision out. Really good little technique to do that. So as the ball drops here, boomf, just headers it. 1, 2, 3 players on the line. But it's nobody's responsibility whatsoever because we don't take responsibility in this football team. We just let it go in the goal. It's way more fun. Yeah. Now, there's another angle I'm going to show you of this, and I'm going to see if you can spot what I'm talking about. The lit looks like he's going to go for the ball, and the other two don't move. Watch. So as this goes, watch this. As it goes up, boom, there we go. There's the hit. This is the image I want you to look at. You can see, look, he's looking, but he's also looking straight at him. This is this guy here. He's assuming that he's going to win that football. Okay, watch. And he doesn't go for it. That's why the keeper doesn't come. But then the second part, whoever this player is, number 6 on the back, but he's the same guy who's, little baby arms trying to pull that guy down for the first goal, doesn't react to it. He takes his eyes off this ball, because if he's watching this ball come down, he clears it off the line. He is looking straight at us, Martinez. Oh, there we go. It's Martinez. If you're rubbish at the football, be better. So he's basically looking at the football there. You can see it straight away. And he just lets it go past him. Oomph. No touch, no attempt to touch it. And you're going to go, oh, his momentum is carrying past him. Yeah, maybe, but I don't think so. I think he could have got to that. I really do. I'm going to show you from the other angle as well, because now I'm going to show you what I'm talking about with the lip. See if you can spot it. And this is the jump I'm talking about. Look at the two here. Bump, bump, as it comes. And he does that. And he doesn't really jump up and try to header it. He looks to the back post for Martinez to do something with it. And this is where I think Martinez could just put his head on the ball. I really do just think he can just head that way as it drops down. Doesn't react to it. Too late. In the back of the net. Yeah. Let's look at the United goal. Quite decent from United here with an actual little scoopy ball. It's a bad pass because Fernandes has to do something with it. He does something fantastic and plays a Hollywood ball. And United are off to the races. It's a quality technique. He gets it really right. Dosh knocks it in. Bosch. Now they're off to the races. It's just running down the field. We'll pick it up at the 18-yard box. So this is where we are. We're picking the ball up here. Is this Ahmad? I think it is. I don't know who it is. Tidy on the ball, running with the ball. Remember, there is a difference between running and dribbling with the ball. If you don't know that, keep listening and watching, because I'm sure I'll do a video on that at some point as well. Forest aren't quite sure what to do here because they're outnumbered. From here, though, I do want to show you this because they're weak kiddie on the ball here. Pretty tidy. And what he doesn't do is panic. Forest actually closed down all the windows of opportunity to play the ball in early. So he does what you really should do in the box, and that's just stand still. But keep possession of the ball. Don't stand still and give it to the other team. And by the way, yes, I have to say that because I've watched the Premier League and I'm sure they do that. Someone's done that this weekend. So he stops, turns, and then the pocket of space opens up because everyone is on the transition. Everyone is transitioning from attack and defence. Marked needs to be better, finding his free space. Ratface is finding his free space on the top of the box here, and he has to produce a quality finish. Because this little wee kiddie here has sent 6 players from Sunday, he just gets to tee him up. It's a simple little pass as well. The weight of it is important. Do you see that weight? Do you see it rolling? That means you can do anything I want with it. Then I can provide the power. I can strike it. I can do what I want. And he does find a good quality pass. Yeah, it is a pass into the goal. It's not really a shot. It's a pass into the far corner of the goal, really. That's what it is. Gets it into the far corner of the goal. And Ratface gets on the score sheet. Other than that, United need to be better. It's not really good enough for their game at home against Nottingham Forest. Forest are a decent team. If United want to get maybe in the top 10 this season, they need to be beating the likes of Nottingham Forest at home. Other than that, see you next time on Cash Talks Football.